Hello, Padawans. This is my fifth take because I keep messing up, and I like to do it in one take. So let's see if I can do it this time, because sixth time is a charm. All right, so I went 9-7 last week. It was a bit of a rough week. Fortunately, I only lost ground to really one individual, and that was Pete Briscoe. He is now ahead of me by one game. I have 150, 76, and the one tie. That gives me 66.3%, which is not bad. I liked it better when I was closer to 70%, but don't we all? Um, so, Pete is one game ahead of me, but he's the only one on ESPN or CBS that is, so I can still be proud of that. Okay, and my college buddy, he had another great weekend. I am definitely going to try and include him next year because if he keeps beating me, um, you should be listening to both of us, right? All right, so Los Angeles Rams at Seattle tomorrow night, Thursday night game. Uh, this game is so close that Vegas can't make up their mind. It's minus 110 on the money line for both teams. I almost never see something like that happen, so pretty dang rare. That means if you bet $1, you get $1 back and you get 90 more cents. So um, that's the same no matter who you take. This is a crucial game for both teams. If Seattle does not win this game, they're hurting because the Rams play Atlanta and they play the Cardinals. I don't see them losing either of those games. So it's a must win for Seattle to have a chance at winning the division. And I am taking them for that reason and just because they're at home. The next game we have is Philadelphia at Washington. Washington played their hearts out last week and they won a game I didn't expect them to win. I don't expect them to win this one. I am taking Philadelphia on the road. They're just a better team. Green Bay at Chicago. This is a heartbreaker. Micah Parsons is extraordinary. The loss of Micah Parsons for the rest of this season and probably for 10 months now means it's going to be mid-season before he's back next year. That dude is such a weapon. It was a lot of fun to watch him, except for week 7 when they destroyed the Cardinals, and he was largely responsible for that. I am taking Chicago for two reasons. One, they're at home, and two, I have been underestimating them all season, and I'm fixing that today because I hate being wrong. I do think that the loss of Micah for the Packers is going to negatively affect their defense. It's still probably going to be a very close game and could go either way. It's just a hunch, and I'm tired of getting Chicago wrong every week. Um, Chargers at Dallas. So Los Angeles Chargers at the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas has a good offense. They're at home. But the Chargers are just a better balanced team. And they also have great quarterback play with Herbert. So I'm going to take the Chargers on the road at Dallas. Sorry, had to get a drink there. Okay, so we have Minnesota at the Giants. You gotta love the fight that the Giants have demonstrated all season long. They've lost a running back. They lost uh, Scatabo, and they lost their quarterback. So it's been a brutal season. They lost their coach. Um, but I just can't take them against Minnesota. Minnesota's just a better team. So I'm going to take Minnesota at the Giants. Cincinnati at Miami. I had originally taken Miami, mostly because Cincinnati just collapsed last week against the Ravens. But they benched Tua, so I'm going to go ahead and go with Cincy because he got a great quarterback. It just proved how important it is to have multiple weapons, no matter how good your QB is. And I think the loss of Higgins just hurt them last week. Um, Chase is great, but just having one receiver doesn't necessarily make it easy for a great quarterback to move the ball effectively. Let's see. Tampa Bay at Carolina. This one took me a while to pick as well. I really wanted to go with Carolina. I would love for Carolina to win because that means that it would lift the Cardinals a little in the draft next year. But I just don't see Carolina beating Tampa Bay. Although I've been proven wrong more than once this year with Tampa Bay on that regard. Um, but I am going to go with Tampa Bay over Carolina. The Jets at New Orleans. New Orleans. Do I need to go into more detail? I would love to see the Jets win this one because, again, that would help the Cardinals out. I would love for the Cardinals to get the second pick in the draft so they could trade down. But they would probably take a quarterback and just start all over. And I'm not getting any younger. Come on. Build an offensive line. Get a good offensive coordinator. This isn't rocket science, it's football. Seriously. Get Kurt Warner in there. The guy's a savant. He understands football at the highest level. If he can't fix Kyler Murray, then draft another quarterback. But until then, build your damn offensive line. It's how you win. Okay. Where was I? Okay. So yeah, New Orleans at home. I'll be rooting for the Jets though. Buffalo at Cleveland. You got to go with Buffalo. Yeah, they disappoint us about every third week when they should win a game and they don't. And they do have Myles Garrett at Cleveland, but who else do they have? Now, I did watch Sanders play a little, and he made some good throws, but he also made some really bad throws. He's obviously a rookie. I think he's better than a fifth-round pick. He's probably a third, maybe late-round second level quarterback. That's not a slight. It's just he's raw. He needed more tutelage in college. He should have stayed another year and gotten some more reps at the collegiate level, and maybe he would have been more polished coming into the NFL. But he's got the starting job, so who am I to judge? But I am definitely taking Buffalo. Kansas City at Tennessee. Here's the other heartbreaking loss, man. Patrick Mahomes, such a talented player. And the Cardinals should have drafted him when they had the chance. That's one of the reasons they didn't have Bruce Arians, because he didn't want to stay there if they weren't going to give him a good quarterback. Kansas City is still a decent team, but they're not going to be in the playoffs. Losing their captain, losing their playoff hopes. They're facing Tennessee. I saw Tennessee beat the Cardinals when they were still okay. That was the first loss of the season for the Cardinals. They were 2-0 at that point. They haven't done much since then because they only have 2 games, so 50% of their wins are the Arizona Cardinals. That isn't an unusual thing in my experience, trust me. I don't want to say reluctantly, hesitantly, cautiously taking Tennessee at home against the Chiefs for those reasons. But it is an upset pick still. I'm sure that Kansas City is favored. I didn't check that. I rarely check the line before I make my picks. I don't like to be influenced by others. But yeah, I'm taking Tennessee at home. I want them to win so that they move down because they beat the Cardinals. So head to head, the Cardinals would be ahead. There are other factors, but anything that nudges the Cardinals up slightly right now, it's the only thing I've got left to root for as a Cardinals fan. Let's see, what else do we have? We have Jacksonville at Denver. Denver's been damn good at home, and I have lost games picking against them at home. Not going to be this week. We're taking Denver over Jacksonville at home because it's in Denver. 5280. They love that number there, don't they? I don't want to be there because it's cold. I don't care about the altitude. But I think Denver's going to probably win this one. Jacksonville has been really good this year. I predicted them to do better, but not this good. So bravo to the Jaguars, man. They deserve some wins too. I know how rough it's been for them since they became a expansion team. Let's see. We've got Atlanta at Arizona. Atlanta. What else am I going to say now? I've already exhausted my frustration with my team. Las Vegas Raiders at Houston. Houston. They're just a better team. I wish I could say Las Vegas Raiders like Chris Berman always did. Let's see. We got Pittsburgh at Detroit. I'm going with Detroit. They're just a better team. They've been really banged up, though. But they are at home. New England at Baltimore. It took me a while to pick this one as well. New England got kind of trounced, but they came back. It's Buffalo. Baltimore, I'm hemming and hawing on this one. They're both good teams. They both let you down occasionally. Baltimore's at home. Either one of these teams could win this game. I'm just going with Baltimore because they're at home. Sometimes that makes a difference. Crowd noise matters. The home field advantage matters. Sleeping in your own bed the night before a game matters. All these things make a difference. They really do. That's why sometimes a bad team can beat a really good team at home. You get a little bit of an advantage here or there, and it adds up to inches on the field. So I'm going to take Baltimore. San Fran at Indianapolis. Boy, Phillip Rivers did a brave job. They almost beat Seattle in Seattle. I thought about taking them here, but I think San Francisco is by far the best coached and managed organization in maybe professional sports altogether. You've got Lynch in the front office. He doesn't seem to miss on draft picks. Now, I like Monty Ossenfort, and I do like the picks he's made over the last few years. The injuries aren't his fault, but San Francisco has had almost as many injuries as the Cardinals, and they're winning. Frustrating for me as a Cardinals fan because we're in the same division, but they are winning. All three of the teams in the NFC West are winning. They're all well coached. They all have great players. They're all doing their jobs. Yes, that's an exhausted exasperation. But I'm going to go with San Francisco on this one because they just seem to always find a way to win games. That's, sometimes that's more important than any individual stat, any individual player. They just know how to win games. And they know how to get their talent and they know how to use it in a scheme that works with who they have. And that's really another big key. I've been talking with Aaron. One of the keys to success for a team isn't just having talent, it's knowing how to effectively use that talent in conjunction with the other 10 guys on the field. That's why Micah Parsons is so extraordinary. He's a Swiss Army knife. That dude can fit almost anywhere on the field. And one of the Cardinals is that way, and he hasn't been used up to his potential this year, Budda Baker. Budda Baker isn't an interception guy. He's that guy you put on the field to stop someone. He's going to hit like a Peterbilt. That's Micah Parsons, too. Micah Parsons is the guy that's going to figure out how to get to the quarterback. He's one of the best ever at that. Anyway, I've got San Francisco over Indianapolis, and I've got 31-17. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a little closer than that, but I do think San Francisco is going to win, and that's 58 total points. No, 48 points. I couldn't read my own handwriting. That's been a problem since I was a kid. Anyway, have a wonderful weekend. The holidays are coming up soon, so enjoy your families. Be safe out there, and Merry Christmas to those who don't see me before.